Hello everyone, welcome to the course Computer Networks. This is S. Parvathi, Assistant Professor, Department of CSIT, MLR Institute of Technology. In today's session, we are going to discussing about transmission media in physical layer. This is the first layer in computer networks. So, first let us see the overview of today's session. First, we are going to discussing about introduction about the transmission media. What is transmission media? Where exactly we are using in physical layer? That we are going to discussing in today's session. And next, we are going to discussing about different types of the transmission media. What are the different types of transmission medias like guided transmission media, unguided transmission media? And next, we are going to discussing what are the different types are there in guided transmission media and different types of unguided transmission media. All we are going to discussing in today's session. First, we will see the introduction about the transmission media. Before going to the transmission media, first, what is computer network? Computer network. What is computer network? Computer network is nothing but set of devices. Set of devices are connected each other. These set of devices are connected each other for the purpose of sharing the resources, data and applications. So, these devices like computer, these are the set of devices. Assume these are the different computers. So, these devices are connected each other for the purpose of sharing the data and applications. That is the computer network. So, whenever we are connecting each other, there we are going to use some communication link. This link is nothing but the communication media or communication channel. This is called as a transmission media. Means for connecting two different devices, number of devices, we are going to use some communication link. That link is transmission media. This media is providing a way for transferring the data from one place to another place, like sender to the receiver. For transferring the data, we are going to use the transmission media. It is providing the path in between sender and receiver. That is the transmission media. And each of messages, these messages can be sent from the data converting into the binary digits. Means, so in this picture, see here physical layer. Already we discussed OSI layer is having how many layers total? It is having the 7 layers. That is application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer and physical layer. This is the first layer. So, this physical layer, whatever data is going from layer to layer, the data name is going to be changed. In physical layer, the data name is the bits, that is binary digits in the form of zeros and ones. The data is considered in the form of zeros and ones. So, the data is going to be considered in binary digits. These binary digits are going to be encoded into the signal. Whatever zeros and ones are coming from the physical layer, that is going to be transferred in the form of signals. So, whenever it is coming to the signals, that can be transmitted over through the appropriate medium. This medium is nothing but either that may be wired medium or wireless medium. We can send that signals using the wired medium or wireless medium to the receiver. That is the transmission medium of physical layer. And next one is the, what are the different types of the transmission medium? This transmission medium is divided into two types. Those are the guided transmission media, that is also called as the wired transmission media, bounded transmission media. And this guided transmission media is divided into again types are twisted pair cable, coaxial cable and fiber optic cable. And next unguided media. This unguided media is also called as the wireless media and it is also called as the unbounded media also. Unbounded media, and in this unguided media, it is going to be having the different types, that is microwaves, radio waves, cellular waves, infrared waves and satellite waves. These are the different types of unguided media. So, first, what is guided media? Guided media means that is the wired media, means wired connection. This wired connection means whatever data coming from the physical layer, this physical layer data in the form of zeros and ones. These zeros and ones, these binary digits in the form of signals. These signals are going to be enclosed in a cable. Means whatever signals are coming from the physical layer, those are going to be enclosed to a cables. That cables are nothing but the twisted pair cable, coaxial cable and fiber optic cable. Through the wires, we are transferring the data in between sender and receiver. That is guided media. And coming to unguided media, unguided means unbounded. That is wireless media. What is wireless media here means whatever signals are coming, those signals are in the form of waves. That means through the air we are transferring the data. Those electromagnetic waves based on the different frequencies, those waves are going to be divided. Those are the microwaves, radio waves, cellular, infrared and satellite waves. These are the different waves in unguided media. Let us see the brief discussion about the guided media first. First, guided media is nothing but this is the wired media. Wired means tangible, means we can touch those wires. At the same time, it is going to be physical existence. That is the guided media. And these guided media having the connectivity in between the source and destination, like using the cables and wires. Means from source to destination, if you want to transfer the data, we are going to use the cables. These cables are guided media. So, these cables are transferred into the signals through the channel, that is the physical media. These are the three types of the cables, that is twisted pair cable, coaxial cable and optical fiber cable. These are the three cables we are going to using in guided media. And next we will discuss what is twisted pair cable. That is the first one in guided media. Twisted pair cable, it is a pair of copper wires. This is the picture for twisted pair cable. First see here, it is a pair of copper wires. So this is the pair, this is one pair, this is one pair, this is one pair and this is the one pair. These are the different pairs. Pair of copper wires. These copper wires are most commonly used for transmitting the signal because of these having the good performance and also having the low cost. At the same time, these twisted pair consisting of the two conductors. So this is the twisted pair cable. It is having one, this is having the one conductor. See, this is one conductor, this is one conductor. This is going to be twisted. This is nothing but this is the twisting. So each with having their own plastic. Each conductor is having their own plastic also. This is the own plastic. And next one, twisted together to form a single media. These two are twisted like this, right? To form a single media. This total is called as a single media. This is the single media. The same time, out of these two wires, only one carries the actual signal, another carries the ground reference. In between these two, one is used for the actual signal and another one is used for the ground reference. And to identify every cable, these cables are going to be colorly coded. So each one is having the different colors. That is twisted pair cable. These twists in between wires, those can be helpful. Why we are giving like this twist between these wires? For helpful for reducing the noise and crosstalk also. That is the main use for that twisting. At the same time, these types of cables mainly used in the LAN connections. When we are going to use in the LAN, local area networks and telephone lines, we are going to use this guided transmission method, that is twisted pair cables, for providing the voice and data channels. And the main disadvantage of these twisted pair cables are this is not suitable for the longer distances. This is only suitable for the shorter distances. We are going to use the twisted pair cables. And these twisted pair cables, the speed is 10 Mbps, 10 megabits per second to the 10 gigabits per the second. That is the speed of the twisted pair cable. These can be divided into two types. That is unshielded twisted pair and shielded twisted pair cable. These are the two types of the twisted pair cables. So first we will see what is unshielded twisted pair cable. So UTP is nothing but it is the short form of the unshielded twisted pair cable. It is a more common cable. UTP is the more common cable we are going to use in everywhere because it is less cost compared to the shielded twisted pair cable. It is easily available. At the same time, number of people are using this cable only. And because it is low cost and it is used extensively for the local area networks, where we are going to use for the LANs and telephone connections, we are mainly going to use the unshielded twisted pair cables. And these cables are consisting of 2 or more 4 pairs of the twisted pair cable. Means that may be 2 pairs, that may be 4 pairs. Means whatever pairs are there here, right? These are the pairs, that may be 2 or 4 pairs. And if it is the cable is having the 2 pairs, that is connection is called as the RJ11 connector, and if it is 4-pair cable, it is used going to the RJ45 connector. This is the RJ11, RJ45 connector. So RJ45 connector mainly used for the Ethernet cables. So this is the RJ45 connectors. It is going to be used for the Ethernet cables, for connecting Ethernet cables. And next, RJ11 connector mainly used for the connecting the telephone units. For connecting telephone, this RJ11 is for telephone. This is for telephone. And next one, RJ11 is for Ethernet cables. Number of people seen in real life. This is the Ethernet cable connections, and this wire is the telephone connections. We are going to use, these are the unshielded twisted pair cables. And coming to shielded twisted pair cable. What is shielded twisted pair cable here? See the difference here. There is no shielding. There is no shield here. That is the unshielded twisted pair. And compared to here, it is having some shield. That is metal foil covering. This covering is used for each and every pair. So it is mainly for preventing from the noise penetration. We are going to use this metal casing. This metal casing, why we are giving? For preventing from the noise penetration, and also it eliminates the crosstalk also. For that we are going to give this shielding. That's why it is called as the shielded twisted pair cable. So it is similar to the UTP, unshielded only, but the difference is it is protects from the EMI, electromagnetic interference, which allows the higher transmission rate. And also this shielded twisted cable compared to the UTP, it is more expensive than the coaxial and UTP. So compared to coaxial cable and at the same time UTP, it is more expensive. It is because it is having the shielding. That's why it is more cost also. That is the disadvantage of shielded twisted pair cable. And next one is the coaxial cable. What is coaxial cable here? Coaxial cable is the two wires of the coppers are there. This coaxial cable, in real time everyone seen this type of wires, right? It is having the two types of copper. This is the one copper, this is the one copper, this is the another copper. It is having two wires of copper and core copper. So means inner copper. This is the inner copper. Inner copper wire is the center, and it is made up of the solid conductors. It is made up of the solid conductors. It is enclosed with the insulating sheet. This is going to be insulated with the insulating sheet. This is the insulating sheet. And next one is the second copper. This is the second copper. This is going to be wrapped around. This is like wraps are there. This is going to be wrapped around. It is going to be protect from the external electromagnetic interference. Mainly for protecting the noise. Protecting from the noise, we are going to use this second copper wire. And this all are going to be covered with the plastic cover. This is the plastic cover. This is the outer jacket. All are going to be covered using the plastic cover used to protect the inner layers. All inner layers, that is inner layer 1, inner layer 2. Those are going to be protected from the plastic cover. That is from the physical damage such as fire, water. It is protected from the damages like fire and water. We are going to use the plastic. And next one is the speed of this coaxial cable is the 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. That is 10 megabits per second to 100 megabits per second. And mainly it is going to be used for the video transmissions. Means in every time we are seeing TVs, right? Every day we are going to watch the televisions. For video transmissions, we are going to use the coaxial cable. So these type of wires you can see in connecting TVs. We are going to use these type of wires. For longer distances telephone lines also we are going to use these types of coaxial cables. And it is carrying the both analog signals as well as the digital signals also. And also it is carrying the high frequency range signals also. That's why the coaxial cables are mainly using. At the same time, it is going to be divided into thick net and thin net. These are the two types of the coaxial cables. And coming to the main disadvantage of this coaxial cable is it is more expensive than the twisted pair cable. Compared to the twisted pair, it is going to be more expensive. That is about the coaxial cable. And next cable is the fiber optic cable. This is the third cable. So, what is fiber optic cable? Fiber optic, this is the picture about the fiber optic cable. So, it is made up of high quality of thin glass or plastic. And mainly it is going to be transferring the digital data signal. For transferring the digital data signals, we are going to use the fiber optic cable in the form of the lights. So here you have seen, right, these are the lights in the form of lights up to distance of the thousands of miles distance. For covering those distance, we are going to use the fiber optic cables. These cables are not affected from the electromagnetic interference. So at the same time, noise and distortion are also very less in fiber optic cables. These cables carrying the signals mainly using the pulses of lights and generated the small lasers or LEDs. Like that, it is going to carrying the communication signals using the small laser light. This is a laser light or LED light. And this cable, mainly this cable, this is the cable, right? This cable is consisting of one or more standards of glass. These are the one or more number of standards are there. So these are going to be slightly thicker than the human hair. At the same time, it is going to be centered. It is in the center. It is called as the core. So it is called the core. So this one is called as the core, and which is provide the pathway for light to travel. Where the light is going to be traveling, right? That is nothing but the core. At the same time, this core is surrounded by the layer of glass. This is called as cladding. So it is going to be covered with some glass, right? This is called as the cladding, and that is going to be reflect the inwards to the glass core because of inwards to the avoid the loss of the signal and allow the light to pass through the bends in the cable. For that, we are going to use the cladding. And next, this cladding is covered with the again coating. It is having coating. Again, it is going to be used the strength member cable is there. And next, finally, it is covered through the outer jacket. That is, this is the outer jacket, and this one is the strength member cable, and these are the inside coating. That is about the fiber optic cable, and it is very secure and very low signal loss. At the same time, the speed of the fiber optic cable is more than 100 Gbps, gigabits per the second. That is the more than 100 Gbps. The signal speed is there. At the same time, the main disadvantage is that it is very expensive because the speed is very high. It is difficult to install and modify also, and also it is difficult to repair. If it is any damage is occurred, then it is difficult to repair also. This is about the fiber optic cable. And coming to the advantages and disadvantages of the optical fiber cable is, the cable is having the much bandwidth than the metal cables. At the same time, this means they can carry more data. That's why the bandwidth also very high. It is smaller size and lighter weight. Fiber optic cables are having the smaller size and lighter weight. Low attenuation. Attenuation is nothing but whenever the data is going to be transferred from the longer speed, the data speed is going to be getting down. If it is going to be getting down, that is called as the attenuation. So here it is saying the low attenuation means the speed is good only and not affected the EMI from the EMI, that is electromagnetic interference. The signals carrying the data that can travel the longer distance without weakening, that is only attenuation, low attenuation. And it is suitable for the industrials. At the same time, noisy areas. Where the noisy areas are there, where industrial purpose, there we can use these optical fiber cable because it is very expensive also. And these, coming to the disadvantages, optical fiber cables are very expensive. That's why some places only where the noise areas are there, where we can't install the twisted pair cable or coaxial cable, there we can use the fiber optic cables. Where the distance is more also, where the speed is more, then that time we can use the fiber optic cables. It is difficult to install. At the same time, the maintenance is very expensive and it is also difficult. That's why fiber optic cables rarely using in real life. This is about the fiber optic cable. And coming to the summary, in today's session we discussed introduction about the transmission media. What is transmission media, where exactly we are using in physical layer, and next we discuss what are the different types of transmission media like guided transmission media and unguided transmission media. These are the two transmission medias are there, guided and unguided. In this session we discussed only about the guided transmission media. Though in that guided transmission media, again we discussed the different types of the cables. Those are the twisted pair cable, coaxial cable and fiber optic cables. These cables in detail we discussed in today's session, and next session we discuss about unguided transmission media. What is unguided transmission media? What are the different types of the unguided transmission medias are there? That is going to be discussed in the next session. Transmission media that we discussed in the next session. Thank you.